Live from HR Tech. We had an exciting day.
It's been busy. It's kind of crazy. There's so much stuff going on here, right?
There's so much stuff going on, and they're telling me it is, in fact, the largest HR Tech yet. Do you feel that way?
And I've been to a lot of them. I will say the energy's really high. It's a little hard for our analysts to know if it's the biggest one because we get kind of stuck in one room where we're doing a lot of briefings. But I will say our workshop session on Monday, where we were just talking about building an HR system strategy, had over 500 people in it. So I'd say, yeah, that was pretty big. So.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've attended several of the sessions, and they have all been full. Packed full. So that I think that's a good sign. Okay, so the big news is, everyone going to HR Connect knows that you will be joining us. You'll be one of our keynote, which we're very excited about.
And I'm very excited too. I can't wait to meet everybody and see everyone.
So, any insights that you can provide on what you'll be covering? We're really excited to have you there. But we have been asked over and over, people know you. They want to know what is Stacy covering. So can you give us a few hints?
I can give a few hints. I think, we're really excited about talking about how to be courageous when it comes to the HR function. And there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for change. And with all the conversations that we have going on around AI and all the conversations we have around being strategic HR, a lot of what we're going to be talking about really is how do you get there? What are the things you think about when you're making the big decisions? And most importantly, does it matter? Is there real numbers behind it? And when you're investing the time and the money and the people and the resources. So we'll be talking about all of that so you kind of know your next steps when you leave.
Okay, now you made me think of something that came up on a couple of the sessions today, thinking of compliance to strategic is how do I protect experience along the way? We've been talking about experience a lot today. Yesterday was a big topic. CX, who's investing on it, who isn't, why are they not investing on it, why are they investing in internal experience and also customer experience. How do they protect experience as they move from compliance to strategic?
Well, if you're doing strategic right, you should really be, one of the most important topics you're talking about is the experience of both the employee as well as candidates. And in my opinion, just as important is the HR professional. One of the things we see all the time are these great tools that are really flashy and they have all cool stuff for the employee, and that's fascinating and wonderful, and the employees are great, and they think they're going to adopt them. But what happens is oftentimes because the HR experience isn't as good, and the HR process isn't as good, they don't have the services they need, we end up seeing that the tools don't have the capability to do the workflows that you need. So I think it's really important when you're thinking about experience to make sure that first your HR professionals have a process for moving from that compliance to strategic through the technology, but also through the processes that are putting in place. And then as you're going through that, you're keeping in mind all the stakeholders that you have and making sure you think about not just what the technology is going to accomplish, but the actual process that the employee is going to actually walk through step by step. And when you do that, I think you're going to be sure to get the experience right.
Okay, we've been talking about experience a lot at isolved, so I'm excited. I'm excited as the Chief Experience Officer. It's a big topic right now for us. We're excited about it. But since you said flashy, and there's been the flashy of the AI topic, we think that 3 years ago, we were not talking about AI the way we talked about it today. Every single session I attended today had an AI component one way or another. So I sat at a table, a few HR professionals within the table that they say, I'm actually here to build an AI strategy for my company because that's what my CEO told me to do. So speaking of flashy AI, so tell me your take on flashy AI. Is it as flashy? At ISO we have our own mentality around AI and the importance of providing the value and being able to make an impact. But what are you hearing? What have you experienced today on AI and the conference along?
Yeah, AI is a big topic, and we've got a lot of data that we'll be sharing in the keynote about it. We're going to be talking a lot about sort of how you think about AI from a buying perspective. What are the questions you should be asking? What are the approaches you're supposed to be taking about putting ethics around it? But I will say that, when it comes to the technology itself, it's not a flash in the pan. It is a very exciting and brand new technology that is going to change how we think about AI's capability inside of organizations and the work that we do. It's a new approach to AI. We have really great artificial intelligence that was pre sort of today, which is did a lot of pattern matching, and we now are going to have this new generative AI that does a lot of conversational type of AI generation and new content creation. So they're two different types and do two different things and do really great within your organization. But what I think most organizations have to realize is that AI doesn't resolve all your issues, and it's not going to do the work for you if it doesn't have good parameters around what you're going to build it around. So it's who trained it, where's that data going to end up, how's that data going to be used, and if you don't have answers to all of that, be very careful about signing up for it, because it can have some really big backfiring issues with it, right? People are going to have some concerns about where that data's at and how it's being used. So, yeah.
And then the same way, you're going to start making decisions on how to use AI, but then you're going to impact that experience. So you got to keep that at top of mind. Okay, so we're so excited to have your keynote next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. We'll see everyone.